somebody, and right in the middle of your conversation, the person's like, oh, and by the way, if you don't take this, I'm going to call the National Guard. Is that negotiation? No! Is that bargaining in good faith? No! I didn't think so. And we have a lot of demands, a lot of very reasonable demands. Woo! And where we're at, let's give it up for the demands. Full divestment, financial transparency, and amnesty for all past and future protesters on this campus. Now, we at SWC are very familiar with negotiations with the university, and we know that their tactic is to give us crumbs while they threaten us. They try to take away our pay during our strike. So what did we do? We shut this campus down. Our power as students and workers lies not just at the negotiating table. It does not lie in maintaining good faith relationship with our enemies, the people who treat us as their enemies and disrespect us on a daily basis.
That's right.
Which is why I'll close and say full solidarity with the protests in the encampment, full solidarity with everybody being threatened with suspension. And, solidarity with Palestine. Thank you very much.
Disclose! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest. Freedom and liberation! Hi. I'm very much speaking off the cuff here, so bear with me. I'm an undergraduate member of SWC. I'm also one of the students who was arrested and suspended by Columbia University. Fuck that. But just like our vice president, I am still here. Undergraduate students and workers have been at the forefront of this fight, and it's time for us as our union to step up and defend them. At the camp in these last few days, we've had some amazing teach-ins on the intersection of labor and Palestine, and it's so wonderful to see all of you, probably mostly grad students out here, coming and defending us in your union gear, here to show that SWC will not stand for any of this. There could be no business as usual during a genocide. If you go up to North Campus today, you can see people walking around, taking their grad photos, teaching their classes, and that's not okay because Columbia's out here threatening all of us, threatening some of the most vulnerable members of our community with eviction, with suspension, with the inability to work, with the inability to access medical care on campus. Shame! It's not enough to just be out here today. We need to be out here every single fucking day until Columbia discloses, divests, and offers amnesty for all students here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Free Palestine! One, two, three, four! Occupation no more! I've been coming in! Israel is a terrorist state! 1, 2, 3, 4! Occupation no more! 5, 6, 7, 8! Israel is a terrorist state! In our millions, we are all Palestinians! In our millions, we are all Palestinians! Not another nickel, not another dime! No more money for Israel crime! Not another nickel, not another dime! No more money for Israel crime! So free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this road! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this Good afternoon. My name is Shauna Redmond. I'm a professor here. I teach in the departments of English and Comparative Literature and the Center for the Study of Ethnicity and Race. My people are out here. My students are out here. We out here. I'm a scholar of the Black radical tradition. I believe in and I teach and I try to live liberation politics every single day. I'm also a former organizer with GSO at Yale University, now Local 33. And I see all of you out here every single day, teaching and living allyship and in shared belief. I'm here today speaking for more than just myself. I'm here to speak for my comrades and colleagues who are with you also. We understand today's statement from the Columbia University administration to mean that they are no longer willing or able to negotiate in good faith with the protest encampment. We also understand it to mean that the university remains committed to bowing to external political pressures and affirming the false premise that the mere presence of political speech on behalf of Palestine is a threat to anyone. This, of course, is absurd. We know this, and dangerous, and it makes it harder for us to actually protect ourselves and our students from the prejudice that attends to all of the circulating ideologies at this moment that have been rampant in discourse from this administration. It didn't have to go this way. The administration is to blame for turning this campus into a war zone and turning the encampment into a spectacle that attracted unsafe external protesters. It put all of us in danger, exposing the ruse of safety used by this administration. Once again, we see external political actors moving the leadership here in ways that their faculty and students do not. And it's shameful to see those elements in motion. Answerable only to conservative political whim, their actions will only increase the dangers for all of the students on this campus. What I am here to do especially is to congratulate you. On behalf of my colleagues, we want to extend our deep thanks and congratulate you for this tremendous victory. You have ignited a global movement that I know I just heard today. I heard today that there's a new encampment in Tokyo. In addition to showing your incredible bravery and clarity of conscience, you've revealed the university's lack of commitment to being an institution of learning and open discourse. And you have forced the university to make explicit its commitments to remaining invested in a regime that commits human rights abuses and violates international law. We salute you, we stand with you, and we're so proud to be your professors. March on! The people of New York City and the community members outside our gates stand with us. They are one of us. We do not condemn folks from outside who are coming in here to stand with us. We stand with them. Sorry, that's what I forgot to say. Columbia, stop the lies! Genocide is televised! Columbia, stop the lies! Genocide is televised! It is right to rebel! Columbia,
often said that U.S. imperialism is a paper tiger. It has the outward appearance of a tiger, but internally, it's nothing but a house of cards. I would like to posit that this university has shown itself to be a paper tiger. I said this in my last speech at a rally, but you can lock every fucking gate. You can double every security shift. You can make me take my mask off to look at my face. You can check my bag. You can treat me as a fugitive on my own campus. But we will be here. And perhaps the only ethical orientation to this institution is that of fugitivity. One of my favorite chants that we do at the encampment is Gaza will free us all, Zionism will fall. I want you to pay attention to that first line. Gaza will free us all. Gaza will free us all. To me, that line is not rhetorical. It is an understanding that the resilience and resistance of the Palestinian people allows us to glimpse a vision of the world that is different, that is free of apartheid, of genocide, of settler colonialism. When we are bonded in struggles for justice, nothing can defeat us. This university, all they know how to do is make threats. They send long, incoherent emails at 4 a.m. They lock our gates. They send public safety to watch a 121-pound brown guy. But I need you to know, this is only because they are afraid of what we've built here. They are afraid of what happens when students, when workers, when faculty, when staff unite against them. They want you to fear them, but I want you to know everything they do is inconsequential and empty in comparison to the strength and solidarity we have for each other and for Palestine. They want you to fear them, but I say maybe you should fear us. In the coming days, I want you to remember that line, that Gaza will free us all. The resistance and resilience and solidarity of the Palestinian people has given us a historical moment, a moment to strike at the heart of empire, the belly of the beast. And I ask you not to let this moment pass you by. The people of Palestine have been waiting for far too long. We understand the complicity of this institution in genocide and settler colonialism, and we will be the generation that says no more. Remember, Gaza will free us all. When we stand in solidarity with each other, there is nothing we can't do. We are not afraid of this university, of its securitization, of its surveillance, of its empty threats. And I ask you to remember that in the coming days. Thank you.
From Palestine to Mexico.
From Palestine to
All the walls have say it is so amazing to see all of our comrades coming in support of this incredible encampment, our fellow student workers, and Palestine. I also am going to be speaking off the cuff because we've been going in there. I am a PhD student here at Columbia, and a proud member of UAW Local 2710. And I was also one of the students who were arrested and suspended at the first encampment. On our t-shirts, some of them, it says Solidarity Forever. And I wanted to talk a little bit about solidarity today. This encampment is entitled the Gaza Solidarity Encampment. And I think it's really important for us to think about how to live out that the statement of Solidarity Forever. I wanted to first talk a little bit about my own experience and why I was at the encampment, and then root us a little bit in the history that we are continuing here today. So as I said, I'm a PhD student. I'm a ecosystems ecologist and climate scientist. I was there primarily to support some of my students who I TA'd, including the incredible LP, who did really well in wetlands and climate change. And many of the other students who have been so brave in leading the CU Apartheid Day Vest Coalition since, for 6+ months at this point, since October 7th and the bombardment in Gaza. I was originally a yellow roll, and then I just couldn't leave because I felt like I had to stand with my students who are incredibly brave and principled, and I am just so honored that I can be a part of their lives in a small way. Because of that, I was arrested along with many of the students, some of whom in the moment were brutalized, including getting their hands zip tied way too tightly and having wrist fractures, etc. And not to mention the incredible amount of psychological trauma that they will experience for the rest of their lives. When we were arrested, we were put in buses and taken down to one police plaza. Boo! Thank you. And we were not fully processed. You have to be fully processed and put in a cell before you can get your zip ties taken off. And I was in the last bus, and that didn't happen for over 6 to 7 hours. I don't know exactly because I couldn't keep track of time because they don't have fucking clocks in the fucking precinct. Due to that, I had a shoulder injury from having my hands behind my back for so long. Then subsequently was suspended the next day, told I cannot enter campus or even be on Zoom classes or Zoom meetings because Zoom is Columbia's property. If I do any other protesting, I will be potentially evicted from my housing, and I can't even access my doctor who's over there in John Jay. So I had to go to urgent care and spend my own money to access basic medical care for my shoulder. And now, because of the new encampment, we've gotten a new little letter from the admin that says the only way I'll get my suspension revoked is if I sign a paper to say that I'm not going to protest until June 2025. And I will still be I am in an incredibly privileged position as a graduate student and as a student worker, and I have this whole entire, all of you, my union comrades, fighting for me, and I'm so grateful. However, our undergraduate comrades, whether they are officially SWC members or not, do not have the same kinds of protections. So we need to actually legitimately stand in solidarity with them. The other reason why it took so long for us to be processed was the vast majority of the people at the initial encampment who were arrested were women of color and non-binary people of color. And the police didn't even have enough female officers to body search us in time. So it just took forever. As LP said, some of the folks who have been most active in this movement are some of the most vulnerable and marginalized members of our undergraduate community. And it has been, honestly, really hurtful to see how some folks in the natural sciences, especially at natural sciences, have not understood how our positionalities impact our risk. And it is really important that we use our privileges as graduate students to be in solidarity with our undergraduate comrades. The other very, very important piece of solidarity is that we are in solidarity with the Palestinian people and their struggle for liberation. Every single university in Gaza has been razed to the ground. Untold amounts of knowledge have been completely lost to the world. Students and academics have been killed indiscriminately. Some of the most renowned scholars in Palestinian history have been killed. On top of the, 35,000 people who have already died. One of the other reasons that I didn't, at 9 p.m. we could have left and been fine. And I was seriously considering that, obviously, because it was really scary to think about getting arrested by the NYPD. But I took a moment to ground myself, to have my feet on the ground and close my eyes and think about why I was here. And why I'm here is to stand in solidarity with my Palestinian siblings and comrades who are fighting for their liberation. And Gazans do not have the opportunity to just hop the fence to safety. They're caged in an open-air prison, just like we are caged in this encampment. And if we are truly standing in solidarity with Gaza, we have to be a little bit more brave and not be so focused on our own research and TA ships and everything. Even though it's very scary, I know intimately, but we are part of an historic moment right now. Yesterday, we've had incredible scholars and faith leaders and activists and organizers from all over the world and all over this country come to this encampment, which is sacred ground now. It is truly sacred ground. We have claimed it back from this oppressive institution and made it a people space. And the people are what makes this university. The students, the graduate students, the faculty, who are incredible and principal scholars and academics. We had last night a screening of the last lecture of Edward Said. And I was proud to come to this school because of the incredible history we have of being at the forefront of thought and especially progressive thought and activism. And I am disgusted at how this administration has handled the situation and been incredibly draconian and brutal to most vulnerable members of our community. So how do I want to wrap this up? All to say that we are the continuation of a long line of activism on this campus, from the anti-war movements in Vietnam to prevent the South African apartheid, and those students kept going, and now they're considered heroes, and this university looks on them with pride. It's really ironic how those people are now venerated and we are vilified when we are doing exactly the same thing, / a lot less crazy and disruptive. We're literally just sitting there doing teaches and like singing songs and stuff. It's really not that deep, y'all. The other thing is that I do not want to get unsuspended if it does not mean that this school is going to divest from profiting off of a literal genocide. That is why I was there. Our demands are incredibly reasonable. We are asking that the school disclose their financial investments so that we can look through them and see which ones are directly benefiting from the Israeli apartheid and the ongoing genocide in Gaza, and then have a plan to not be invested in those companies and not be making money off of the murder and starvation of Palestinian comrades. We are also asking that myself and other comrades here and folks who have been protesting since day one are given full amnesty and not punished and prevented from exercising our basic right to freedom of speech and assembly in our university. It's really not that hard. It's really not that hard. And so I urge you to stand with us, stand with me, stand with our undergraduate students, and be in full, meaningful solidarity with Gaza and the Palestinian people, because we are in a historic moment right now, and you have a chance to be part of that. Thank you. Give it up for our last speakers. You heard our speakers. It's time to stand up and show solidarity with our comrades and show some solidarity with Gaza. Just like we did 2 weeks ago, we're going to start a picket. Our picket captains are out there. We are going to walk around here. We've been asked to picket until 7 p.m. Can we do this? Now it is hot. It's getting hotter. Please.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Water, be that you need. But let's keep this picket going. Let's show up for our comrades. Let's show up for Gaza. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
No. I think you said it. It's all okay.
You want to get up? What's that? Sorry?
I'm not going to.
screen.
We will not rest this close. Divest. We will not stop. We will not rest this close. Divest. We will not stop.
We will not rest this close. Divest.
Myself is
Colombia, you can't hide. You are funding genocide. Colombia, shame on you. You suspend students too. Colombia, shame on you.
You in prison.
Nobody?
Stop blockade means nobody. You can be faces for yourself.
I love you all. Pass it on.
Yeah. stop, we will not rest this close. This close. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. We will not rest this close. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. We will not stop, we will not rest this close.
I feel like they also need to get into the middle of that for a second to help people. Exactly. That guy, Gavin guy. He's inside.
Oh, thank you.
Appoint the board of punishment.
But I was like the optic.
Sorry.
Are you a student?
Sorry. Excuse me. Oh, sorry.
You can come a student. Let me go again.
Very bad decision. Hey, I know you're like, we're trying to.
Right here, we're just gonna put up this sign.
That's tough it is. I don't know for sure. Thank you so much. Él es grande. Ya, señor. Ya me quiere.
You mind if I go down?
No. Go under. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. No. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
You might want to lower that a little.
Yeah.
Kind of short.
No, but not like right now. Right now, I'm surrounded by all y'all.
We will not stop, we will not rest this close. Divest. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. Divest. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. Divest. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. Divest. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. Divest.
Excuse me.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Thank you. Bien, permítame. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry.
Free Palestine! I can't find mine.
Check, 3, 2, 1, Columbia University, outside 2:30 press conference, Columbia University. Check, 3, 2, 1, Columbia University.
Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Oh yeah,
What am I doing? Am I not doing
I'll be going right here, okay?
Now we're talking.
Palestine will be free!
There you go. Good to go. Put it back on you. Take off water. You want me to do it? Put it on Rhea. Channel 2. Okay, so take off water. Let me check. video check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? And this. Hold on. Hold on. Chest 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Touch. You hear that? 1, 2. That's check. That's check. So I'm saying separate channels.
Hey, Chris. Sandy.
Do me a favor. Can you talk about this? Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
We will not stop, we will not rest this close. We will not stop, we will not rest this close.
Diverse. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. Diverse. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. Diverse. We will not stop, we will not. Just change it back. No, I'm here. Fix it. We're not open yet.
Te mando un mensaje.
Ya te listo.
Pero
No, good.
no, le dicen que no.
Good.
Ahí está. La verdad es que nosotros que no hay muchos online.
Ya, porque está dando vueltas.
Ahí dentro.
Está dando vueltas por aquí.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! What TVU is this? What number? Huh? It's 15?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Sorry, like, I don't know. Do you want me to open it? If that's helpful. Oh, you want to use Yeah.
Hey, you guys, can you clear so they can get right up to the microphones? Can you make just make sure that your bag is back? I just want to make sure we get good sound.
Hello. I'm going to start by reading a statement. Can everyone hear me?
You good?
I'm going to start by... Okay, is anybody not ready?
I'm going to start by reading a statement on behalf of the Columbia University Apartheid Divest organizers. At 10 a.m. on Monday, April 29th, Columbia delegates issued written notices to members of the Gaza Solidarity Encampment, instructing them to leave the encampment by 2 p.m. or receive an interim suspension, including eviction, for students in university housing. Faculty in the University Senate have suggested that the university also has plans to expel and arrest students in the encampment with previous disciplinary notices. These repulsive scare tactics mean nothing compared to the deaths of over 34,000 Palestinians. We will not move until Columbia meets our demands or they are moved by force. Columbia's threat to mass suspend, evict, or possibly expel students with only a few hours' notice violates university rules. Faculty in the University Senate who rejected Columbia's plan because it is illegal, were informed that rules of university conduct will not be applied in this instance because the university has declared a state of emergency to manufacture consent for mass suspensions and evictions. Protesters have been entirely peaceful, and the university has previously agreed that it has no grounds to call in the NYPD. This is not stopping Columbia from illegally declaring a state of emergency, which requires Columbia to falsely identify nonviolent protesters as a clear and present danger. Columbia's threats, distributed through flyers, are reminiscent of the flyers the Israeli army launches from the sky to Gazans. Today's threats come after days of fruitless negotiations in which the university refused to seriously consider our demands for divestment, financial transparency, and amnesty for students and faculty disciplined in the movement for Palestinian liberation. Columbia pulled out of negotiations over the weekend by threatening students with a mass campus lockdown and the eviction of every undergraduate from their dorms. It is our position that good faith negotiations are not possible so long as the university attempts to win arguments by weaponizing food insecurity, homelessness, and military attacks as leverage. They have informed the university that they are prepared to escalate their direct actions if the university does not adopt basic standards of conduct for negotiations. The university has repeatedly lied to the public about their so-called concessions in negotiations while refusing our request for more transparency. For example, they propose to share information about their direct holdings, neglecting to mention that these account for only 6.12% of Columbia's $784 million publicly traded investments. They also would not consider bare minimum divestment proposals, for example, to divest from the weapons manufacturers that directly profit off of thousands of bombs that have decimated Gaza, killing at least 34,000 Palestinians thus far. Instead of engaging with our negotiators in good faith, the university has done nothing but intimidate protesters in an attempt to disperse the encampment and proceed with the semester as usual, ignoring the ongoing genocide and the institution's complicity in it. We stress that during a genocide, business cannot continue as usual. Today is day 205 of genocide in Gaza. We must take action to end the true state of emergency, Columbia's complicity in genocide. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the amazing people on our negotiation team. No.
My name is Sueda Polat. That's spelled S-U-E-D-A. Last name Polat spelled P-O-L-A-T. I'm a student organizer and one of the negotiators for Quad. Earlier today, President Shafiq sent out an email announcing the end of negotiations and declared explicitly that the university will not divest from Israel. In that same email, President Shafiq claimed that we had had constructive dialogue regarding the student encampment and made insincere statements regarding the university's actions. The university's negotiations evidenced an elementary understanding of the words boycott and divest, which have been at the heart of the student movement and at the heart of our encampment. While the administration offered us a timeline for review of divestment proposals, they refused to give us any commitment that the ultimate decision would be binding. They offered us limited financial disclosure by giving only their direct holdings, yet not the indirect holdings which account for the vast majority of this university's endowment. They also threw bribes at students. Shafiq talks about early development childhood education programs for Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza. She talks about a resilience fund for Gazans. This amounts to nothing more than bribery of the student movement. The administration also offered a review on the topic of boycott. Instead of closing down the Tel Aviv dual degree program, instead of shutting down the Tel Aviv Global Center, which has not yet broken ground, they said they would review access to these institutions, to these programs, overlooking conveniently the fact that these programs can never be in line with the university's own stated policies of non-discrimination and equal opportunity. This is a smokescreen. Bureaucracy is a prison, and the students refuse to trade in the blood of Palestinians. The university has conducted itself with obstinacy and arrogance, refusing to be flexible on some of our most basic points. That said, we were engaging in good faith negotiations until the administration cut them off under threat of suspensions. Where we asked for amnesty, they gave us more discipline. Earlier this morning, university delegates appeared at the entrance of our encampment with disciplinary notices, essentially alerting students that they could choose to do one of two things. One, sign an attestation form at the exit that would put students on academic probation on the condition that they abide by all university rules until June 30, 2025, or until their graduation, whichever comes first. Or the students would be interim suspended, losing access to their housing, losing access to campus, losing access to healthcare on campus, and losing their right to graduation if they are a graduating student. Essentially, these are attempts to stifle the student movement.
Once again, the notices are yet another intimidation tactic from the university. These tactics are reminiscent of those employed by the Israeli occupation against our people in Gaza and Palestine. Ironically, the notices assure students that their rights to demonstrate will be protected by the university if they sign these papers. We refuse to operate on the basis of speculation. We want assurances. This encampment is a minor inconvenience compared to the generational shaping events taking place now in Gaza. Throughout the negotiations, the Shafiq administration treated this movement as a matter of internal student discipline rather than a movement, or rather than as one of the great moral and political questions of this generation. Colombia's short-sighted political decision making today in the face of a genocide that has stolen the lives of over 34,000 human beings, women, men, babies in Gaza, that has destroyed lineages and heritage sites and universities, will be a stain on its legacy forever. The students on this encampment are a gift to Colombia. We offered to give university back its principles. With all eyes on Colombia, the administration could have chosen to divest in a manner that aligned with its past. Colombia would rather trample its reputation instead of being proud of its students and faculty for raising these incredibly important moral questions. We have been hit with little more than threats and petty attacks. This is not a matter of simply violating university rules. This is a movement, an anti-war movement. We have sparked similar Gaza Solidarity Encampments across the nation and even across the globe.
What's your name? Can you say your name, please?
Mahmoud Khalil, M-A-H-M-O-U-D, Khalil, K-H-A-L-I-L. Yes.
We'd like to reiterate that our presence on this encampment was never a security risk. In fact, it bonded members of the Columbia community in unprecedented ways on this campus. People from various walks of life coalesced to deliver food and supplies, to do their homework on the lawn, to bring their professors to community, to read a book at the People's Library, or to sing around a guitar song. We will not be moved by these intimidation tactics. You can see outside you now that the students are mobilized. There's hundreds of them here today. They will not be moved. We demand divestment. We will not be moved unless by force.
The first individual who spoke, are you comfortable giving your name?
I am not.
You're not. Thank you.
Khalil, are you willing to accept the suspensions and any other sanctions that the university levies?
Again, I'm a negotiator on behalf of this group. The group today unanimously took the decision to continue this encampment until Columbia divests.
Your negotiation is happening while the campus leaders are being pressured by politicians who call this movement anti-Semitic. What do you think about that double pressure they're facing? Could you speak to that a little bit?
Double pressure the administration is facing?
Yeah, your school administration.
The administration needs to put aside geopolitical interests in U.S. politics and decide on the matter of justice, as it has always done. This university previously divested from apartheid South Africa. This university had a movement against the Vietnam War. This university understands what it means to be principled, but it is buckling under congressional pressure, and that is unacceptable. It is not up to me as a student to make the university act according to its principles. That is up to the university.
Well, and just could you speak directly to this idea that there is a vein of anti-Semitism in this movement? What do you think of that accusation?
I think this has been addressed 100 times over. For the 12 days or so that we've been on this encampment, there has not been a day that we didn't make an effort to address these claims. And at this point, they are a diversion from the death and the massacre in Gaza. A diversion. That being said, I will answer it once more. We have community guidelines. Every single individual, politicians, members of faculty, students coming from diverse political backgrounds or faith backgrounds, read those community guidelines and enter this space with agreement on those guidelines for open dialogue between all people. There has been no violence on this encampment. Students from diverse backgrounds have shared their religious observances together. We've celebrated Passover. We've celebrated Shabbat twice. We've prayed in congregation. This is a place of community, of communal learning, not violence.
Thank you.
What is the timeline that the university gave you to disengage?
They tell us that we have until 2 p.m., which, I lost my watch. It's past 2. It's past 2. We've been asked to disperse, but it is against the will of the students to disperse. We do not abide by university pressures. We act based on the will of the students.
Are you afraid they would just leave you on campus, and how will you respond if they do?
Students are aware of the risk of law enforcement. They've faced that risk once before, and they know how to come together again in the face of that risk. And we stand in solidarity with other student movements across this nation that are being brutalized in ways worse than Columbia.
What do you say to seniors and those who are graduating that are concerned that this will disrupt graduation?
The disruption of graduation is not the fault of the student movement. The disruption of graduation falls solely on the shoulders of this administration that has refused to meet our demands. We don't want a disruption of graduation. They do.
The school denied that a state of emergency was ever on the table and called it rumors. Do you have a response
The school had denied that the state of emergency was ever happened or was on the table, that it was reversed.
We have confirmed from members of the Senate that there was a state of emergency declared by the administration.
They say no.
Members of the University Senate.
Have you had any contact?
The negotiations are off the table right now. We cannot accept the proposal by the university that refuses the basic tenets of the student movement. If they are willing to meet us on the negotiating table again, we're present.
Can you explain what you've agreed to and what you are still disagreeing over?
The negotiations are a package deal. We're not agreeing on one principle and disagreeing on the next. We're agreeing on the basis of a package. And we do not have that package, and therefore no agreement has been made.
Have you had any contact with the NYPD city council? And do you have any message with them?
No.
No message?
Can you reiterate your demands one more time?
Divestment, disclosure, amnesty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Minu Shafiq emailed saying that she's going to have wider conversations with the larger Columbia community about next steps. Will Quad be part of those discussions? And has Quad been invited for those discussions?
Quad has always been open to discussion, always been open to negotiation. Despite the administration not engaging in good faith negotiations with us, we have met them on that table. If we are asked again, we will negotiate.
No negotiation. Stop. No more.
We're not stopping.
How many students are affected by the probation?
We do not yet know how many students are affected by the probation. It's up to their individual will whether or not they sign those papers, and we have no way of knowing until at least the end of the day.
Have you been in contact with other student movements around the country?
I personally have not, but Quad has had contact with other campus brothers.
What are you hearing from them?
That they're similarly motivated, similarly resilient, and they're waiting for divestment, and we share those demands.
We'll do one or two more questions, and then we'll end.
Yes. Last question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Sorry.
Let me grab that and then I'll let you through.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Thank you. Sorry. Sorry.
Occupation!
Five, six, seven, eight. Nobody has to.
Okay.
BT. You're gonna walk here, you're gonna put on a bed.
I'm just detaching the mic here. For those who are seeing what's happening right now, I just want to put in context, this picket started by going like directly around the fence of the encampment. And it is now, it's so big, they actually had to expand it. Like the size of the, like actually larger than the courtyard here at Columbia. Sorry, my angle's off. They've actually expanded it. Sorry. This is really tricky. They're literally going around the entire courtyard and up these stairs. Let's go up there. But it just keeps getting bigger, so they have to keep expanding the picket so it doesn't, stop in place. But this call to mobilize was made literally an hour, not even before the rally that was called at 1 p.m. They called it maybe at 12, maybe a little past 12. They called for a rally and picket, and look at what's happened. I mean, I assume these are students. They're hanging out the window. This is absolutely massive. I think the turnout might actually be bigger than the turnout from the first picket. I'm going to take everyone up to the stairs here. But this is actually, there are well over 1,000 people here picketing. I mean, you can just see the size here. It's going all the way around. It's just keeps getting bigger and bigger. For those joining us just now, this picket was called in response to a bunch of packets that were given to the protesters in the encampment. They were told that if they don't leave by 2 p.m. today, they would be suspended, possibly expelled. And for those who had prior disciplinary infractions, they would be arrested by the NYPD. So, safe to say the university has stepped away from negotiations entirely. And for those of you just joining now, you'll see a huge presence from the United Auto Workers Union, who represent the Student Worker Coalition, which is the grad student union, the grad worker union here on campus. That person is waving I think it's an SWC flag. Yeah, it's an SWC flag. But they actually were really the ones holding the rally down. And they really came out. You can go back and rewind the live stream if you want to see it for yourself. But they came out and they were saying, we're here because we're workers and we know what it's like to bargain with the university. You'll see right here some UAW workers. These are some of the speakers from the rally. I really cannot emphasize to you enough how this all just sort of happened in the last hour. By this, I mean all the students showing up. They've mobilized in about an hour. They've created this massive picket. And they're here to defend the Gaza Solidarity Encampment at Columbia, who were threatened not only with the closure, the forced closure of their camp, but many of the students in the encampment who were already arrested in the first encampment, they were being threatened with another arrest. And we have a copy of the contract, not contract, but they basically passed out agreements this morning, and we got a copy of it. It basically says, I refuse to, or I will not sort of, I will leave the encampment. I will not commit any violations of the, student code. And basically it's saying, they're trying to get people's signatures on paper saying, you agreed to not break the rules. So then if they try to violate them later on, or if they try to protest, not even, violate the rules. If they protest, it's very likely that those agreements will be brought back and then heavy academic sanctions will be brought against them. And by the way, I'm going to go find a copy of the agreement. There are many of them in the trash can. But it says it's not amnesty, which is one of the students' demands. They want amnesty for all the suspensions that were handed out at the last encampment, which took place on this lawn. It's not amnesty that the university is even offering. They're penalizing. They want to penalize everyone, including the people that signed their agreement. They get put on some kind of probation until June 30th of 2025. And during that period, they're basically barred from, the way they phrase it is, violating the student code, but you know, what Quad is saying is this is just, they're trying to get us on record to agree to not protest. And this really seems like, you know, the sort of strategy that Quad is taking, or sorry, not Quad, Colombia is taking to ensure that this doesn't come back, because obviously that's been a huge theme of this whole movement, is that every time an encampment is crushed, it just comes back. And the encampment is still here. If you're wondering what these are for graduation. They're getting ready to set up for graduation, and this lawn is really the last piece of land that Colombia needs to hold graduation. Anyway, so the encampment is still up, as you can see. And there are still students in there. But I'm going to try to find you a copy of the agreement. Which, by the way, the students actually created a doormat out of the agreement. If you look, you see that like white there. That is the agreement that was given to students this morning, and they just taped the pages to the ground and made a little doormat out of it. So they're definitely not taking this agreement, and we'll go back to the picket. So I have a tripod on me. I'm going to get on that for a sec. So just give me a second while I transition here. And I'm going to go to the sundial, which is this sort of spot on the center of campus. Gives you sort of a 360 view. So give me a second here.
We're already set up here. There you go. Alright. Yeah.
Sugar, I've got a high tolerance for, I'll be honest. First day of summer. Right after the first day of summer. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna check the. Oh, sorry about that. I'm going to check the comments here in a sec. Excuse me. I just want to ask for all the people watching right now. If the audio is okay. Sorry, can people tell me if the audio is fine in the comments? I see a yes. Audio is fine. It's good. Okay. All right. So, for those that are just joining us.
Oh, they brought a bigger Israeli flags out.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry about those. Sorry about those flags. That is a minority position here, because as you can see, right now there is a massive picket that is formed at Columbia. As you maybe have seen online, Columbia University basically came to the encampment today, the Gaza Solidarity Encampment, which is still there, right here. And they delivered a agreement, so-called. Sorry, I'm just unraveling myself. Okay, now I'm really sorry, guys. Okay. So, what you're seeing right now is a massive student picket that was called for maybe an hour ago. Basically, what happened this morning is the Gaza Solidarity Encampment, which is right here. The school administrators came down to the camp this morning and they delivered a letter, a message, saying that the students had until 2 p.m. today to leave, and that if they didn't, they would be suspended. And the students who have already faced disciplinary infractions would be possibly expelled and arrested by the NYPD. And they said, they would be charged with trespassing. Now, up until now, Columbia has been saying in its sort of public emails, they've been saying, oh, we're not sending the NYPD. That's a rumor. That's a sort of hysterical rumor. But that has now changed. And basically, within the hour, students called for their fellow students to hold a picket, and that's what we're seeing now. So people came down here like in the hundreds, and they started walking around the encampment gate after they had a rally on this spot I'm standing on right now. It's called the Sundial. It's like directly in the center of campus. So they had a rally here from where I'm standing, and then they declared this picket, and they started marching around here. I'll point to it. They started marching around this fence. And you can see now that they're not marching around the fence, because there are several hundred, if not 1,000 students that came out. And they're marching. There are so many students that joined this picket to basically march around the encampment and defend it, that it's expanded around the entire courtyard. So I'm going to try to trace it. This is really hard. I am by myself. But see this. It's going all the way. I'm going to turn my autofocus on. It's going all the way around this massive courtyard, which is in the center of campus. And these students are here to basically protect the encampment. And, what's funny is, like, it seems like Colombia's calculus was that, the movement is maybe dying. There were less and less people in the camp who were like staying overnight and stuff. Like, it wasn't like the first week when literally every single square inch of the lawn was full. Finals have started, meaning students are starting to leave the dorms. They're starting to go home. Basically, there are less students on campus, and it's been 13 days now since the beginning of the first encampment. So I think they thought people were tired. I think they thought the people in the camp were tired. I think they thought the students were kind of over it. They thought it was a moment. But clearly this is a movement. Because I think just as many, if not more, students have come out to defend the encampment. And this is what happened the first time. This is what happened the first time there was an encampment, or with the first encampment at Columbia, which took place on this lawn here. You see now Columbia's covered it with fake turf, and they've covered it with pipes. That's because this is normally where graduation is held. This is the seating area during graduation, which is what made the Gaza encampment at Columbia so strategic. Is they literally set up their encampment where graduation is held. So the first time, as you all know, they arrested everyone literally not even within 48 hours of them setting up the encampment on this lawn. They arrested everyone, and I kid you not, we're going to be posting a report about this very soon. But when they made those first arrests, there were this whole area. Point on the screen. This whole area was just filled with students who were chanting, let them go, free Palestine." It was crazy. Like, literally within 15 or 30 minutes of the NYPD showing up on campus, all these students came out of class. They came out of their dorms, and they came to defend the students. And now you're seeing that again. And this picket has been called. They said that they're gonna stay out here till 7 p.m. So right now it's 3:20. So they've pledged to stay for another 4 hours. And this is just an incredible show of solidarity. And for those that missed the rally, I think that what the title of this live stream is, like, Columbia encampment holds a rally. But really, it should say Gaza encampment plus grad student union holds a rally, because the grad student union actually turned out in huge numbers. I see some UAW members to my right, but there's a graduate student union here that's represented by the United Auto Workers, and they came out to the rally. They organized the rally in coordination with the camp, and they said, we're out here because we know what it's like to negotiate with the university, and we know how awful they can be. We know how they mess with you, they play with you. But B, they see the people in Palestine as their fellow workers, as their fellow brothers and sisters, and they weren't shy about it at all. They're out here because they oppose the genocide, not just because the university gave them trouble at the negotiating table. So I might turn back to the crowd. I'm reading the comments right now on YouTube. Someone said fellow workers, LOL, what? I mean, just so people know, the people in Palestine, not only are they workers, but they have the double oppression of being workers who also live under the Israeli occupation. And you should go look this up. I mean, it's actually incredible what the Palestinian workers have to go through. I mean, beyond facing, pay discrimination, racism in Israel, if you've ever seen a video of a Palestinian worker's commute under occupation, a Palestinian living in the West Bank that has to go into 48, into, the Israeli 48 borders to work, what would normally be a 5-minute drive or walk is turned into a 4-hour humiliating nightmare because of the Israeli checkpoints. And I really recommend to the person who commented that to just go on YouTube. B'Tselem, the Israeli human rights organization, has a lot of videos that show this. The checkpoints. It's a commute no worker, or maybe not no worker. I've seen some factories in the U.S. that kind of look similar, but it's something most workers can't even imagine, having to wait in essentially a cage and have these 18-year-old Israeli soldiers, harass you, spit on you, yell at you. They scan your biometrics, and you have to, show your ID and just, yes or no, sir, at every turn. I highly recommend everyone look it up. I mean, to be a worker in Palestine, to have to work for the very, country that's occupying you, and then to be treated as less than human on your commute. I mean, it's a special kind of experience that comes with the sort of, double exploitation of Palestinians being workers in Israel, but also being Palestinian and being Arab and being seen as less than human by the occupation. Sorry, I try not to respond to the comments too much, but so, this is, for those just tuning in right now, this is the picket that has been called by the Quad organizers, by Columbia University Apartheid Divest, and was organized alongside the UAW workers in the grad student union here at Columbia, sorry. And it just goes all the way around the campus. And the encampment is still here. Still very much here. And right now, I mean, it has the most sort of... this is the biggest turnout for the encampment, really, since the arrests. So, the university definitely thought this was the end. I think a lot of people think that their plan was to sweep the camp today, and obviously this picket has thrown a huge wrench into it. Okay, so I see some students here who are now... Oh wow! Okay, I think they're trying to expand the picket even further. Now you see. Okay, look at this. So now they're actually, like the way a picket works, you create a sort of circle and you just you do loops. But when a picket gets too big, you need to expand. So they expanded literally around the entire courtyard. But now I see. Oh, I think they're actually trying to fill holes, but The picket is still very much going strong, but I think they sort of tighten the circle a little bit. Sorry, I need to shift my equipment around a little bit. So just so people know, it just started raining. In which case, like, if I cut this stream, it's because of the rain. Yeah, it's starting to come down a little harder. Okay, I might have to cut this stream, guys. I'm sorry. Or you know what I could do? I can go in the encampment. Maybe let's try that. I can go under the tent in the encampment, I think. Because this is really exciting. I don't want to turn away. So let me do that. But it started raining, guys. So I'm gonna disassemble here. So please just bear with me for a second. so sorry about that. Okay, so I had to move inside the encampment under the tent because it started raining. But if anyone has questions, I guess maybe now is a good time. I can field any questions if there are any. I'll be checking the comments on YouTube. But yeah, we've been here covering this. We've been here covering the encampment for the last 2 weeks. So if anyone has questions, I can try to answer them. But what's the time right now? It's 3 o'clock. So this is a picket that was called to basically defend the encampment. For those who don't know, the Columbia encampment was just issued a 2 p.m. Deadline to clear out of this camp, and the organizers refused, and they called a picket instead. They called on sympathetic students to come out and basically create a massive circle around the camp, and that's exactly what you're seeing right now. I'm under a tent right now because it's raining here, but it literally goes around the entire campus, and it's safe to say, if the NYPD does come in here, which is now back on the table, they're gonna have to, push through this picket essentially. So I'm gonna try to. I'm actually gonna look at the comments now. So for those people on YouTube, okay. So here's a question: were faculty present near the encampment? Yes, the faculty have played an incredibly important role in all of this. The faculty, not just in the encampment movement here at Columbia, the faculty have been mobilizing for the students and for the Palestinian movement here on campus since November. And we've been covering what's been happening here at Columbia since November. I was here for a rally that took place on the steps back there, and it was a faculty rally basically opposing the university's decision to ban SJP and JVP, which is Students for Justice in Palestine and Jewish Voice for Peace. And the faculty are, of course, outraged. Now, I should add, it's not like all the faculty are like, that they all support Palestine or that they all have the same position on Palestine, that, they support the right of Palestine to defend itself. That's definitely not the case. But what angered and united all the faculty, not all, obviously, but literally hundreds of faculty members, is the fact that they started banning student groups, they started banning free speech on campus, and now they've started expelling people. And we did a live stream a few weeks ago where we live streamed the faculty rally in response to the suspensions handed down to the students who were arrested after the first rally. And the faculty, they were out in full force. And right now, I can't really show you because the entrance is so is blocked right now. They're actually blocking the entrance of the encampment. So right now, the faculty are actually basically preventing agitators, like hostile media, basically all media, from entering. They're trying to limit the number of people coming in and out because of the threat, because of the looming threat right now of an NYPD raid. Let me just zoom out a bit. I know it's boring. You're on the same shot. But anyway, so The faculty, yes, the faculty have been incredibly supportive, and they have a group called FJP, which is Faculty for Justice in Palestine. Yeah, so that's that. I hope that answers that question. Someone asked, you guys are in the encampment? Yes, we are currently in the encampment. If anyone else has questions, if anyone on YouTube has questions, please put them in the comments. What are the major differences you see between the first day of encampment and now? That's a good question. I would say, so first of all, to be clear, there have been two encampments. There was the first encampment, which resulted in arrests like less than 48 hours after it started. That was the first encampment. Then the second encampment, which is this lawn we're on right now, I'll just pan over, which is the one that everyone in the country has sort of been watching. This encampment started on Thursday, whatever the 17th. I think April 17th is when it started. And, when it started, Columbia didn't realize, first of all, they did not think that the students would take the second lawn. There are two parallel lawns here that are identical. The first encampment was on the first lawn. They were cleared off that. And as they were being cleared off, the students literally just hopped the fence and moved on to the second lawn. And that's the encampment you're seeing now. I don't think Columbia thought they would do that. And someone just blew an air horn behind me. I'm sorry about that. But I don't think Columbia thought the students would take the second lawn. So that created huge excitement, and there was massive support from the community. And people were coming onto this campus from all over the city. People from Harlem, people from Manhattan, whatever, Brooklyn, they were all coming up to support because they were so inspired by the bravery of the students here. And yeah, the first day of the second encampment was crazy. And we're gonna be releasing a report on YouTube very soon that shows everything we saw. But there were rallies here, I kid you not, 500, 600 people. This is not a huge lawn. 500 or 600 people chanting at the top of their lungs, carrying people on their shoulders, waving flags. They had a mariachi band that was so beautiful. I'm excited for you all to see the footage of that. But I mean, it was like a huge celebration almost. The energy was super high. And Columbia knew they had to crack down on that. So they started imposing all of these crazy measures. They put up barricades. They hired not one, but several, multiple private security firms to basically to guard every single possible entrance. Every gate, even though the gates are already chained shut, they're standing outside the gates. They're standing at the entrance of every single building. They're making sure everyone has to tap their ID card, to get in the building. And that obviously, restricted access for all these people that were coming here to support. So, more recently, the numbers have certainly dwindled, but that does not mean that the energy or really the commitment is, any lesser. In fact, I think it's actually strengthened the commitment, because something that's just feeding the protesters now is we've been here 13 days. I mean, some people, myself included, a lot of people are just sleeping here. A lot of people just are refusing to leave. You have students who are skipping classes. You have people who have, asked to postpone their finals. You have people that are just dropping everything in their lives because they think that this is the most important place in the world they could be right now. And so while the numbers of people in the camp have sort of, fallen a bit, the fortitude of the people here has just, gone through the roof. And, to say that the support is dwindled is not fully accurate, because as you can see, there's a massive picket going on. And, I should add, the encampment is they're being very strategic about the way they utilize people who can be arrested and people who can't. There are hundreds of people who have been willing to risk arrest, but there are many hundreds who are also like unable to risk arrest for whatever reason. Maybe it's immigration status, maybe it's, you know, whatever, like maybe you know, they got a job and, you know, they think they can support in a way that's not like getting arrested. But those are the people on the outside right now. I see a lot of people right now that have been coming around the encampment, and now they're on the outside to defend it. You know, just because they're not in here doesn't mean they're any less dedicated to the cause or any less ready to sacrifice. People are you know, this is the first line of defense here on the outside. So everyone is playing their part. So I'm checking the comments again. For those that didn't hear, I've come inside the encampment because it was raining. I came inside because it's raining, but is the UAW really supporting this? The answer is yes. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call right now. I'm just gonna, give me one sec. Okay, guys, sorry, I'm back. We're here at this is a picket for the Gaza Solidarity Encampment. I can't leave the encampment right now because they're trying to really restrict like people coming in and out, and I've already sort of been pissing them off. Just not pissing them off, but I've been like, hey, I've been really annoying about going in and out. So that's my fault, but I'm going to commit to staying inside here. So let me maybe walk around the perimeter of the camp, and I can show you a little bit, but, you know, out of respect for some of the people here, I don't think they want to be filmed, so I'm going to try to avoid pointing the camera in, but here I go. Okay, I've mounted my mic backwards, so you guys can sort of hear my voice. And I'll just kind of go ahead and commentate as I go. But, okay, so again, if you're joining us now, we're inside the Columbia. Let me turn my... So bright out here. It's really hot today in New York. It's 85 degrees. So we're in the camp right now. This is the Columbia Gaza Solidarity Encampment, and you see outside there's a picket happening. It looks like there's some holes in it right now, but students are basically picketing because this morning Columbia University sent out a packet. They didn't send out a packet. They came to the camp, and they came to the camp. They delivered a letter saying everyone in the camp had to leave by 2 p.m. If they didn't leave, they would be suspended. And if they already had a prior infraction, basically saying if you participated in the last encampment and were already arrested, if you get caught up in here again, not only will you be suspended, you might be expelled, and we will also have you arrested for trespassing. Mind you, these are students, so they would be arrested for trespassing on their own campus. So when this letter was hand delivered this morning, and we have copies of the packet. But when it was delivered, the first thing the students did was made a doormat out of it. There's literally a doormat at the entrance to the encampment. Most of them were, read and then promptly thrown out. Because in the packet was basically an agreement. And the university wanted people to sign this agreement, which basically said, I agree not to break any university rules, basically not protest, until June 30th of 2025 or until my graduation. So, basically they were trying to get on record that, no one will ever do anything like this again. No one will ever protest again. We never want to see another Palestine anything on campus again. And, I guess they thought that this would, be the end of Palestine solidarity protest on campus. But instead, the encampment members threw out the packets and they voted to stay. They voted to stay past the 2 p.m. deadline. And instead, they had a rally, which it looks like there's another rally that's going to start now. So, okay, let me grab my tripod. I'm going to try to see if we can get a feed here. I'm on the inside of the encampment right now, so I don't know if my mic will actually reach the encampment, or sorry, not the encampment, the speaker. But let's give it a shot. I'm in the encampment right now. They really don't want people going in and out too much because of the security threat, because of the threat from the NYPD. So, oh, here's a copy, by the way. So this is the agreement I was talking about. This is what Columbia delivered this morning. Okay, sorry, I didn't see what was written on it. But I think people wrote a lot of things. They had a lot of choice words for the university. I'll try to find a clean one. But yeah, they delivered these sort of agreements, basically trying to get people to sign away their right to protest. And I guess, I don't know, they thought that these students who have been sleeping in tents for the last 2 weeks would all of a sudden come to their senses and sign away their right to protest. I don't really know. Okay, I'm going to point my camera down because there's some people over here, but
No divestment, no commencement.
okay, I'm gonna head over.
And if we don't get no justice,
Sorry, sorry for pointing at the ground, but many of the people in here right now are like determined to stay, meaning they very well may go to jail. Give me one sec. Someone's trying to get my attention. All right, sorry about that. Someone trying to get my attention. Okay. So, sorry. I'm pointing the camera down because many of the people left in the camp now are like determined not to leave, meaning they are very likely they will very likely be arrested. On my right now, I just walked past a group of people that are meditating, which I guess, might be the best thing you can do before an arrest. But, so there's a UAW rally happening here. This is the Grad Student Union. I'm going to try to see if I can catch the audio from here inside the encampment. Give me a second, I'm transitioning. So I want to get back to a question that someone asked, which is the UAW really supporting this? And the answer is yes. This is literally a UAW rally. This is specifically an SWC rally, which is the student. Let me just get this right. It's the Student Workers of Colombia. Okay, I think I screwed that up earlier, but that's SWC is the grad student union here at Columbia. They're represented by the United Auto Workers, and yeah, they called this rally in conjunction with the encampment. Excuse me. Yeah, so the UAW is absolutely supporting this, and I said this earlier. The basis of their support is not just. One of the speakers said, "Well, we negotiate with the university too, and we know how they screw around with you. They play games with you." But it's not just that. It wasn't just like, oh well, we have the same bargaining opponent or anything like that. I mean, people gave up and people went up. So I'm trying to refocus my camera. The people went up and gave very impassioned speeches about their solidarity with the Palestinian people. As workers, but also just as people in the United States who don't want to see this genocide be carried out in their name. And, I think this right now, sorry, I'm just going to, there's just a little rally going here. People are just chanting and stuff, but, yeah, the UAW workers were giving very impassioned speeches about why they support Palestine, not just because, they're both bargaining against or bargaining with Columbia University, but because they see Palestinians as their fellow brothers and sisters, as their fellow workers. And there was someone in the comments who said something about Palestinians as their fellow workers, and they sort of laughed at that idea. But, the reality is Israel exploits Palestinian workers like all hell. Many Palestinians in the West Bank, I mean, that's part of the cruelty of the occupation, is the occupation has decimated the Palestinian economy so much that Palestinians are forced to work for the same country that's occupying them. And, the problems that face Palestinian workers go beyond just the regular, the awful issues that workers, say, in the United States face of wage theft or, unfair hours or, people being fired for no reason. Palestinian workers face that as well as the discrimination on the basis of being Palestinian and of being Arab, that transcends just their sort of their position in society as a worker. And I told this person that commented that, and I really want everyone watching this stream right now to just pull open a tab if you can and Google B'Tselem Israeli checkpoint and just watch some of the videos. There aren't too many workers in the United States, or most workers that we think of traditionally, that have to go through what is essentially like a cage or a prison for 4 hours just to make a 5 or 10 minute commute. So okay, here we go. We have some speeches.
Okay, not bad. Anyway, well. All right. Well, we're asking you. Thank you for coming out. We're asking folks just come chill in the encampment if you feel comfortable. Conserve your energy. We got water. As Emily said, watch your phones. We'll probably need folks at the drop of a hat to come back out here to Picket.
So I don't know if you guys heard that, but so that was the vice president of the Student Workers of Columbia, represented by the United Auto Workers, Grant Miner. He was just on our live show, the Freedom Side Live. Go check out that interview. The clip is on our YouTube channel. But I think they just invited everyone into the encampment, which is very sweet. He said there's water, I don't know if he said there's sunscreen, but there's sunscreen. There's food, there's like an abundance of food. So I think people are going to come in the encampment now and join people. And, you know, this has been sort of... that person just said, if you have UAW wheels, bring them back to the front. If anyone watching this is at the rally, bring your UAW wheel to the front. But so they've invited people in, and you know that's very significant because Columbia's strategy has been to thin out the encampment. Like I was saying earlier on the stream, they have basically when the second encampment started, there was just a huge outpouring of support from the community. From when I say the community, I mean people always say, "Oh, the community." I mean from New York City, like literally from not just from Harlem, but from Manhattan, from the rest of Manhattan, from Brooklyn. People were coming. I imagine maybe from New Jersey, from all over, to come support the encampment. And the first few days here, I think maybe we posted some clips. I think there are many floating around online, but the mood here was just nuts. I mean, it was people were just, you know, over the moon. It was ecstatic. It was like a party every night almost. And, you know, I don't mean to make light of the genocide, but I mean, people were, this is really, something people were telling us is, you know, this is the first time they've felt hope in forever. Palestinians have been saying this is the first time I've felt hope in a long, long time. And you could really feel that. There were massive rallies. You know, people were coming. There was a mariachi band that came through that just played some beautiful, beautiful music. We have a report coming from Breakthrough that will sort of show all this very soon. But it was an incredible atmosphere the first few days, and Columbia knew they had to crush that, because when people see videos of people, you know, excited and happy and chanting Free Palestine at the top of their lungs, you know, more people want to join in. So they set up this whole security apparatus, and they hired not just one, I think 2 or maybe 3 security firms. One of them's name was Apex. I can't remember the other ones. But they hired all these private security firms to guard literally every single like opening into the building, into the campus. Not even like doors, but gates, like industrial openings, you know, where they deliver the food through and stuff. They put someone up at every single door. They even barred alumni from having access at a certain point. Like, they were so afraid of people coming in that they just decided to lock their own campus down. They moved a lot of the classes to remote. They told a lot of student workers to go home and work from home unless their role was essential. And so all this to say, the union has just told people to come join the encampment if they can. And, you know, it's a call and a reminder. You know, the people here are making a huge sacrifice. They need the support. They need the numbers. And, they're making an open call for the Columbia community to join them. And, you know, as someone that stayed in the camp, I can say it is incredibly hospitable for what it is, sleeping on the grass outdoors on the campus of an Ivy League college. It's the most... They make that experience as comfortable as it could possibly be. The amount of food here is insane. I mean, they've actually been donating most of it. I was told earlier by one of the food workers that there was a moment where they had all this hot food and they made a call out to the greater New York City community, and they're like, we have all this hot food. We don't know what to do with it. So they reached out to all the other encampments. They're like, do you need any hot food? And they're like, we all also have too much hot food. And every single New York City campus had too much hot food. So I think, they've been donating a lot of the food to the community. But anyway, it seems like things have sort of, died down for the time being. The UAW workers will be staying. They're going to be staying till at least 7. They'll be, I think they'll just sort of be milling around. They'll be in the camp too. So, I think we can call it for the stream. I don't think anything is happening imminently right now. So I'm going to send a message. But, this is a great time to just say, obviously, we've worked very hard to be here, to, try to be here every day. If you like what we do at Breakthrough, please subscribe. We're really trying to carve out a space and really challenge the mainstream media whose coverage of this has just been awful. I mean, not only have they've only focused on the encampment itself, and they haven't really raised the demands or explained what divestment is. They haven't actually talked about why people are here. They're just like, oh, people are here and they're angry. But also, they keep spreading this completely just BS, just total anti-Palestinian attack, slander that this movement is anti-Semitic. And, what's I guess coincidental, but, a funny coincidence is this encampment coincided with Passover. And many anti-Zionist Jews at Columbia actually came here to celebrate their Passover. And again, we have a piece coming out about the encampment that sort of shows what that was like. But anyway, I am going to send a message now to ask people to end this stream. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and make sure to follow our pages wherever you're watching, because we're gonna stay here. We're gonna be at Columbia until the police or the university close this encampment by force. So let me just send this message out. I hope you guys have all been able to make visits to your own encampments. All right, so it looks like it's gonna be a few minutes before we can kill the stream. So I'll just keep talking because what's that? I'm just gonna keep talking because I can talk. But yeah, no, I hope everyone's been able to visit the encampments near them. I heard one just opened up in Tokyo, which is crazy. And I was talking with one of the food